When I lost my husband, I said to him, and I did a tribute to him, I said I would not beg, I would not borrow, and I would not be at the mercy of any man. Before I started this, I said to myself, why do the Western world make products for us? The same market, the same production, the same manufacturers, they take it to Western economies and we go buy it from them. Why do we have to believe that they can do it and we can't do it? So the African woman has everything it takes to make a difference, everything.
I am an African. Africa, where it all began. The cradle of humankind. Rich in culture. Diversity of resources. The silver, the gold, and its people. Legacy. Passing down something of value, resources, ideas, information from one generation to another.
There cannot be any success in your lives without the willingness to live with what you regard as inconceivable.
African Legacy Project. They inspire and build.
My name is Oke Maduewesi and I'm the CEO of Zaron Cosmetics. Zaron products is unique for the woman of color. Our skin tones, shades, and the climatic conditions, because we have very harsh weather. So I wanted to make a difference by really creating products that were sustainable in Nigeria, that would work well with Nigerian women and African women and any woman of color. I was born and I grew up in Benin. Benin is the south region of Nigeria. Extremely fun place, tough at the same time. I grew up with 5 sisters, so you can imagine we were 6 girls in my house. It was the most amazing thing ever. So we were best friends, we fought a lot at the same time, and I was the last of the 6 girls. So was I really pampered? Not really. So it was tough being the last and not being pampered. My mother never pampered me, so it made me tough as a person. But it was really fun just having girls around, they were like girlfriends. So we would hang out together, we'd do everything together. It was a really close-knit family. So my sisters, till today, they're still my best friends ever. And I have 2 girls too, so it's a family of girls. Anybody that knows about Benin knows that it's a tough place. So I think growing up there makes you really tough. So my mother was extremely tough. And I think just having 6 girls, any woman would want to be strict and tough, just being protective of your girls. My mother's voice still sounds like terror in my head. It never stops, you know. I'm sure she can still spank me if I do something naughty. Her voice rings in my head all the time. So there are some things, till now, there are some things that I see people do and I say to myself, my God, if I do try that, my mother would kill me, you know. I mean, just knowing that that voice is there keeps you grounded. And I hope I'm able to give that to my daughters, because you know how it is these days. But yes, my mother's voice is still extremely, not strong, but tough in my head. We grew up in a Christian background, so she taught us the right value. We had to go to church, she taught us how to cook. We're great cooks. I used to be a great cook, that's a story for another day. So yeah, she gave us the right platform to grow up as decent children and all that. And I'm entirely grateful to my parenting, because I think I had amazing parents that has built me to becoming the woman I am today. My father is just, if I do say my father is a sweetheart, my mother watches this interview, she's going to be upset with me. But he's the calm one, yes. He's always sweet. He never judges. He's quite understanding. And yeah, so he's always wanting to listen and hear you out, and his opinion is what makes you happy, you know. So yeah, my father's voice is that soothing voice, that father that is just very endearing and very warm and very sweet. My mom is sweet too, in a tough way. Growing up, my father used to work in the northern part of Nigeria, and it's like 12 hours drive from where we used to live. So sometimes we do these really long road trips, and then Nigeria was still safe. It's still safe now, but I mean, it was way safer then. And we'll get into the car, we would sing on the way, we'll stop on the roads to have some really nice local meals and all that. One of them, my father liked this local meal called akara. So we would stop on the road. I think they have the best in the northern part of Nigeria, and it was so beautiful. So we had a song, a family song that we used to, in fact, there's something that he used to say to every single one of us, you know, and it was so nice. So, I mean, so that memory has never left me. I think the person I've become and who I am today, it's as a result of where I grew up. It was easy to know what to do in terms of the right friends to have, because of course, being the last of the 6 girls, you'd always have somebody to talk to about issues, about boys, about people, you know, so I was extremely protected, and at some point I just went to have a say of my own, but it was hard having that growing up with 6 girls and just being the last, because everybody thought, you know what, I've been there, I've done that, so you can't make the same mistakes, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it was, I felt extremely protected by my sisters, but at the same time it was fun, and we fight a whole lot. So we argue a lot and we gossip a lot, and we just share experiences and all that. So it was, I think it's, that's why before I wanted to have more children, because I had 5 sisters and 5 great friends, but thank God I didn't. I was very calm growing up, and I have always wanted the best, right? I've always thought that I could push myself, and so whatever task I was given, whatever challenge that I had to deal with, I dealt with it very calmly, because I've always been calm. So yeah, but I didn't see today, really. I never saw today, but I knew that there was something in me that was unique. I wasn't sure what it was, but I never saw what I am today, or that I'll be doing what I'm doing today. I think at 15, what you really think of is what you'll be in the future, who you get married to, where you'll probably be working, the number of children you would have, where you want to live when you're growing up. Business was in the mix, but yeah, so I just wanted to be happy. Wasn't sure what happiness would be or where it would take me to, but I just wanted to be the best. I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be someone that my parents would be proud of. In the university, I studied economics. I think I've always been inclined to statistics, yeah. So that was the closest to what made sense for me to study, and I wanted to work in the bank. I thought I'll be a professional, yes. So I said, okay, economics is very versatile. It will get me to be able to work in so many other places. As soon as I finished school, there's something called youth service. You have to do it for 1 year, and I was posted to Port Harcourt, still south part of Nigeria. And I worked in Shell. That was my biggest break as a youth corper. I loved it so much because, I mean, the Shell brand is one of the biggest oil and gas companies in the world. So I felt I was home with Shell. I felt that was where my destiny was meant to be. It made me feel so proud that, oh my God, I was working in Shell. So I think that was my first job experience. I worked in the IT department, and I didn't want anything else. In fact, I think I stopped dreaming. So that's the danger of just being exposed to something that big at that early age. I stopped dreaming because I felt this was it. This was all I could ever want in life. And I thought my life would be, would be so cool just being here. So I stopped dreaming at that point, really. So thank God something happened. And after youth service, I wasn't retained. And at that point, I thought that was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. I cried every day for a few months, really wanting to go back to Shell. But thank God, because my destiny was definitely, when I look back now, I see where I was then and where I am now, and think of just being there. I'm sure by now would have been the person that I never wanted to be. So yeah, so thank God for that experience, and thank God that it didn't last. After Shell, after my youth service, I started working in the financial sector, banking. And my first bank job was the most challenging, the most fun, the most aggressive. Yes, banking in Nigeria is kind of aggressive. You have some really huge targets and I say to everybody that I never would be able to do what I'm doing today without my experience in banking, because it just really grounds you. It teaches you about just being out there, just being able to source for business. And I say to people that that's the best place to teach you entrepreneurship skills, because what we did back then, it's just being an entrepreneur, because you work like you own your own business and you're trying to manage your own business. So I started with banking. And without sounding too confident, I think, and just trying to be modest, but I did pretty good at it. And I did good because I was driven, self-driven, and I would just go for it. I didn't want to fail. I hate to fail. In anything I do, I hate to fail. So when they give you those targets and you know that it's unrealistic sometimes, but because you don't want to fail, you just go for it. So so the experience was amazing because I didn't want to fail. My last job was the most interesting. It was, so I left from one bank to the other. So I worked with one of the biggest banks in Nigeria, in Africa, and I grew really fast there because I did pretty good. So I got rewarded for every step and every time that I met my targets and all of that. So so it was good. But like I said, I got exceptional promotions from time to time. I became a boss to my superiors. What I did right in my corporate career was self-drive, so I was driven. So you didn't have to run after me or chase after me. If there's something out there that I had to do, I just had to deliver, and I would deliver. And I saw challenges as opportunities. I never felt they were impossible to reach or achieve, and I just went for it. So I was driven, so it wasn't about my bosses or the next person. It was about me as a person and just wanting to do the best and just achieve whatever target, whatever challenges that are put right in front of me. Just having an older person reporting to a younger person as a management staff, it can be challenging. But I didn't quite face that. I didn't quite see it as an issue because, first of all, you have to respect people. So I try to respect people, but at the same time, people always say that, oh, you look so calm. Yes, I look calm from the outside, but on the inside, I can be tough. So regardless of who you appear to be, people know that they can't take you for granted. So I did not have the personality to be taken for granted while I was working. So it wasn't so much of a problem if we have to do something. However, I'll respect you, I'll give you the respect that you accord, but if you don't do what you have to do, then sometimes you have to face the rocks. While I thought I was doing very well, there was something in me that knew that this wasn't who I was supposed to be. There was something in me that wanted so much more. There was something in me that knew that I could do more. And at the time I left my job, everybody think I was crazy. All my friends, they just couldn't handle it. They thought I was going crazy because this was a job that was very interesting. I was a management staff already in so short a time. And I just let it go. I said to myself that there's something out there, not knowing what it was, but I just knew that there was something more to achieve, there was something more to do. So I just let everything out and I went back to school. So I always say that if you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go to, just go back to the drawing board. And I always say that the first thing to do is just go back and learn, just go back and train yourself, just go back and just have that time that you can really, really sit down and think of the next level. So I went back to do an MBA in Leeds Business School. So I did that for 1 year, stayed there with my children. It was one of the toughest times of my life, but I did that and I came back to start Zaron. I chose MBA because I wanted a management course. Like I said, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted, but at that time I thought the MBA would be the best option, given that it was a management course. So it's not just about business, but it also trains you on managerial roles and all that. So if I was going back to being a professional, I would be a better manager, because remember, one of the things that made me leave is the fact that I grew really fast. So I felt that I had to gain more experience to even support whatever position that I was occupying at that time. So I thought MBA would be the perfect option. Doing my MBA in Leeds Business School was very interesting. It gave me a completely different perspective to the international markets and international world. And like I always say, what did it for me is the case studies, because you would read about global brands and people doing amazing things out there. And I know that something in my head kept on ringing, and it was, okay, why do you keep reading about people? Why can't someone read about you? Why can't you tell your story? Why can't you tell your journey? Why can't someone detail your business and your structure? Why do you have to always read about people? And it gave me restlessness in my spirit. And I knew that that was something, and that was when this business idea started coming up and all that. So, but at the same time, just I say to a lot of friends and family members that I know going to school in the international world is that you also have to create the balance, because the concept of going global and think local. So while I was there, because of my experience in banking, I also knew that not everything that works in the international market would work in the local market. So I tried to apply every knowledge I got from the foreign MBA course to Nigerian business. How does it work here? How will it work? How will it play out back home? So that helped me, because I know a lot of friends that have come to run businesses and they just bring whatever they learned in the foreign market to this market, and it never works because it's a completely different market. So every market is unique. Every market has a different structure and a different angle to it. So you need to understand your local market and apply whatever knowledge you have. I left everything. I literally sold everything I had to go back to school. I said to myself, I'm done with it, I'm done with this place, and this is a new chapter. So I left knowing that I had nothing to come back to. So that's the biggest risk ever. But so there was fear of the unknown, which inhibits everybody, every human being. So there was fear of the unknown, but I knew that there was just something in me that said to me that, you know what, you would weather the storm, that there's something out there, and I went all the way. It was tough. At some point, I'll say to myself, okay, you know what, just go buy suits and go back to the financial sector and go back to the office and all that. Just look for a job. Are you sure you know what you're doing? But I kept on going against all odds. I kept on living in the UK as a single mother with 2 children. It was so hard. I was in school, they were in school. It was really, really tough. But I just kept on going. I knew that to get to the next chapter, I had to go through the challenge. I had to go through all this. And thank God I never gave up, because I almost did at some point. When I was going back to school, I had to go with my daughters. My last daughter was barely 2, the first was 4, and I'm the only parent they have. Being a widow, and it's just been me in their lives and all that, I didn't think it was proper and it would be fair to just leave them behind. I mean, my mother is there, she would have done an amazing job, but I didn't think that it was fair for me to leave them alone without a father and a mother. So I said to myself that we have to do this together. Sometimes I still ask myself, are you truly a widow? Because it's 11 years as a widow, but it still feels like yesterday that I was married. So it's the most painful story ever. So it's in the midst of the pain, I had to turn my pain to my story. And that was exactly what I did, turn my pain to my story. When I lost my husband, I said to him, and I did a tribute to him, I said, I would not beg, I would not borrow, and I would not be at the mercy of any man. So those were my driving force. And I said to him, when I say him, I said to him, yes. I said to him, I said, you left me because you knew I'll be able to take care of your children, and I promised to do you proud. So sometimes I feel he's looking down on me and he's smiling at me, because every step of the way, I have tried to do something that would make him proud. I have tried to push myself. I introduced myself as the face of single parenting, the face of widowhood, and the face of Christian in the marketplace, because I am trying to redefine those terms. Widowhood a few years back has been stigmatized back home, and people just expect you to be low and down and pitied as a widow. But I said to myself that that would not be my story. I would be a single mother, but I'll also be different. I would work hard, I would make an impact, and I will be a face for single mothers, for widows, and for Christians to look up to. And for people to see and say that, you know what, if Oke can do it, I can do it. And I have tried. I mean, sometimes I really want to give up because it's overwhelming just being a single parent and having to do all these things. But sometimes I know that there are thousands and millions of people looking down at me, and I'm giving people strength. That just helps me to just move and just keep doing what I do. When I finished my business school, I had to come back home to start the business, and it was the scariest thing ever. Just the reality of everything hits me. And remember, I was coming from Port Harcourt, which is the south part of Nigeria, and I was coming to Lagos, which is the southwestern part of Nigeria. So it was a completely different world and different market and different people. I had never lived here. And I said, I came here because it's definitely more commercial. Lagos is the hub of Nigeria in any business. So I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know who to start with. I didn't know where to go to. But I just came back, got my children into school, got a place to stay, and I started from ground zero. And it was interesting because there were so many challenges on the way, but I knew that I always work from the end, so I see the end result. So I work towards the end. So the end result was Zaron Cosmetics already in the shelves and in the stores. And I knew I would not stop until I see that. So nothing was going to make me stop. So I started preset by preset. I got the first thing I did was to get an office. I said, you know what, I want to wake up every day knowing that I'm going somewhere. Even if I'm making calls to people, I'm going somewhere to do that. So it changes your mindset completely. There was nothing happening there, nobody there, but I did get an office. I was having meetings. I was going back and forth with manufacturers. I got a staff, you know, I just started working, and it took like 2 years to get Zaron Cosmetics to be launched. 2 years, that was the longest years of my life. And at some point, I always would remind myself, you know what, you can still go back to the financial sector. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. Can you really do this? Those questions will always come in anybody's head. You would always have those questions where you doubt yourself, where that fear factor comes in and all that. So it's inevitable. So people say, but this person, you are not. It's everybody goes through that stage. But I think the most interesting thing and what you really need to do is just stay focused and just know that it's never easy getting to the next step. It's never easy. There's no guarantee. I'm doing this now. I know the challenges I go through every day. In fact, today, sometimes I ask myself, okay, seriously, why are you doing this, you know? So it's never easy. So the fear factor always comes in. But like I said, the end result is there. I wasn't going to stop until I see Zaron on the shelves of retail chains and stores, and see people's businesses growing, and see people's lives being changed through this business, and seeing the impact that I can give to Nigeria through this business. There was nothing that was going to stop me. So I worked with consultants. We'll go back and forth. So it took 2 years because we kept on going back and forth, because just making the product and creating it and thinking that it's fine wasn't enough. We had to try them over time. We had to try them through different environmental and climatic conditions. So we had to be sure. We had different color and skin tone ranges. It was a lot of work. We had to be sure texture was right, pigmentation was fine, and we still do that till today. I mean, I always say that most of the products that we started the brand with, we've completely transformed from when we started to completely different products. So it's continuous improvement. But we started with the full range, and it was quite hectic, but at the same time very interesting, just knowing that. And I think we sent a very strong message that this brand and this business is ready for serious business in Nigeria and in Africa. So while I was finding myself in school, I kept on, at some point I knew I wanted to build something. I just wanted to create something that is, that goes beyond me, who I am as a person and all that. I wanted to create a brand, a global brand. So I started my journey by thinking really big. So it wasn't about just coming to do a business. It was about creating something that would impact lives and that would be a second, fourth, fifth generation business. And so the next challenge was, what will this be? And it was a bit challenging getting to know what to do. But before I went to MBA, for the MBA program, I had a side business. I was a franchisee to a foreign cosmetic brand. So I think I gained a bit of experience while doing that. And I started researching on the cosmetic space, beauty space. I saw the L'Oreal group. I saw that the space was huge, and I saw what it really does for people. It just transforms people. It's not just a business. It actually makes people happy. It changes people's mindsets, people's reaction to who they truly are. And I said, oh, wow, this is an interesting product. This is an interesting space to go into. So I did my research, worked with consultants. I had to tell my supervisor that this was what I was planning to do back home. And I did a decision out of my idea, and he let me, thanks to him, and I got an A in that course because I was so passionate about it. I knew that, so I took it like a pet project. I knew that this was what I was going back home to do. I researched on everything possible. I researched on the global markets, the best place to manufacture, who do I talk to, who do I work with. I worked with the cosmetic retail stores, I worked with makeup artists, I worked with the local brand owners and foreign brand owners. I made sure that I did everything I had to do because, like I said, I didn't just want to do a business, I wanted to create something. So Zaron is a fusion of my children's name, my two daughters. The first is Zara and the second is Honor. So they always say, Mom, you know we own Zaron, right? Just because they know that it came from them. So yes, Zaron is a fusion of my daughter's names. People always say capital is such a big deal to start business, and I beg to differ. However, I didn't start Zaron from day one. So I started my business from the minute I started working as a banker. Because every second of your life counts. Every second of your life is your capital and how you source for funds and all that. Starting the business with trying to raise capital to start the brand and the business was not too much of hard work. That's because I didn't just start from when I started Zaron. So I had built reputation over time while working as a banker. So I had a network of some sort, and because while I was working, people knew me and they knew what I would do as a professional. I did a business plan. There was nothing too serious about the business plan. I spoke to a few friends and I remember what they said to me. They said, okay, you know what? If you run this business the way you did your job, I know you will do well at it. So they had absolutely no problem. So I tell people that want to start businesses and want to start, even if you're starting from zero, you can turn 1 naira to 5 naira. You can do just being diligent. And from the capital that was we started with, we've grown the business over 1,000% without taking loans or without being indebted to any bank. Today we have 45 different products in Zaron. We have almost 300 SKUs. We have from the liquid foundation to the compact powder to various kinds of lipstick. We have the matte lipstick. We have the lip glosses. We have the different shapes of eye pencil. You know, pencil comes in different forms. So we would have liquid, we would have powder, we would have compact. Anything. I don't have to use any other brand to do, because the only time that you're allowed to use any other brand of product in Zaron is if Zaron does not have it. So today my makeup bag has just Zaron products, yes, because we have everything. So for a full face, you have everything. We even have the finishing powder. We have the spray max when you finish your products. We've done an amazing job trying to cater for the woman of color. We have variations of skin tones and shades. So our powder has almost 9 different shades. So everything is covered. The most interesting part of the business is that we have built businesses from Zaron. We have impacted Nigeria and Africa. So we have franchises. We have about 30 franchise stores. And these are people that really did not have anything they were doing prior to now. We have young women, we have men that have franchise stores. You know, we have students as distributors that have paid their ways through school. We have over 1,000 distributors in our books. So it's one of the things that I'm most grateful for doing this business, because when I started, I said I don't want this business to just be about me and my immediate family. If I cannot make it about people, if I cannot make it about Nigerians and Africans and make it good for others, then it's not worth it running a business. I always say to myself, I define success as growth and contribution. So if I'm not contributing, then I'm not a successful person. We have managed to contribute to the lives of many. We have so many things that we do, we are very high on CSR in Zaron. We have the Zaron Hunger Free Day, we have the Zaron Widows Day, and we do it February 14, Valentine's Day. So we show love, we share our stories, we cry together, we laugh together, we do makeovers for them. So we really do it with very needy widows. And the most important thing is that we give them money to start their own businesses. And we've done a couple of hundred since we started. And we're most grateful that we're able to impact lives of so many in Nigeria. Zaron stands for a beauty product geared towards the woman of color, just bringing confidence in our pace, just making a difference and an impact in the global world, in the cosmetic world. There are not too many local brands like Zaron out there. There are not too, and also Zaron wants to represent the African woman that is able to run a successful and a global business, and to encourage more African women to come out there, because we have all it takes to make a difference. You know, before I started this, I said to myself, why do the Western world make products for us? The same market, the same production, the same manufacturers, they take it to Western economies and we go buy it from them. Why do we have to believe that they can do it and we can't do it? So the African woman has everything it takes to make a difference, everything. I started Zaron from absolutely nothing, from zero. Today, Zaron is in almost 8 countries globally. And I see the picture. We're just 6 years old. I see the bigger picture. I know Zaron is going to go far and beyond. We have reviews from all over the world, even the Western economies that we think that without their products we can't survive. We have reviews of Zaron products and they've been wowed by it. I'm Nigerian and I can't be anything else because I totally love being Nigeria. However, it's the toughest place to run any business. They say Nigerian business people are some of the best business people in the world because it's the toughest place to run a business. We have an interesting system. It's just the way it is. So running a business here, there are no guarantees. There are absolutely no guarantees. So it's interesting. It's also a learning curve. It toughens you up. You have to be street smart to do a business in Nigeria. So my experience in a business here every day brings a new and a fresh challenge. You can't plan for tomorrow. You really can't, because tomorrow just might not be what today is. So it's fun, it's stressful, and at the same time, it's extremely interesting. So I'm grateful that I had this experience because I know that I have managed to thrive regardless of the challenges. But at the same time, I'm grateful to the country because they have embraced me much more than I anticipated and I thought they would ever. And Nigeria is still one of the most interesting markets for any business, for any new entrant, because it's a niche market. We have the people, we have the spending power, we just have them, and we have amazing people. So we have that spirit of resilience. People just don't give up back home. So I'm most grateful that I'm Nigerian, and I would, like I said, I would not be anyone else or be in any other place. So yeah, so the challenges are there, but it's a learning curve. I think it's the culture and the way that we are. It comes from the inside. Sometimes I leave Nigeria and I go to other African countries and I'm almost like, seriously, what's going on here? Is everybody sleeping? You know, because they are really chill, which is a good thing. But you come to Nigeria and there's so much activity. I don't want to use aggression. There's so much activity, and but it does keep your heart beating fast. Lagos is the heartbeat of Nigeria. I mean, you can literally feel the heartbeat of the next man. So that's why we're entrepreneurial, because our pace is a bit faster than normal, you know, so everybody we don't settle for less, everybody wants more. So in Nigeria, we have the good, the bad, the ugly. It's a full mix. There are no half measures. So if you want to do it, you go all the way. So if you're bad, you're really bad. If you're good, you're extremely good. So Nigeria has everything. So it's rich. The culture is rich. They have diverse culture, but it's just an amazing mix. So everybody, even people that don't run their own business, the average Nigerian man is very entrepreneurial. So everybody wants to make an impact. Everybody wants to make a difference. Everybody wants to do something. When I think Zaron, I think of a business that outlives me, definitely. When I think Zaron, I think of people. I think of the impact. I think of lives. I think of true happiness. I see Zaron. I've seen the picture. It's really clear. I've seen Zaron in almost every part of the world. I've seen Zaron in the biggest and the best retail chains in the world, which I know is going to happen. And so I know Zaron is not about Oke. It's never been about me. I think this is the journey of Zaron just started, and it's going to go far and above where we are today. I started the business saying to myself that Zaron brand will be out there and Oke won't be out there, and people said that was impossible, but thank God I did it and it worked. It was a gamble, but it definitely worked. So everybody knows the brand. Nobody knows me. Sometimes I introduce myself as Zaron and they go like, you work there, right? And I'm like, all of the above. So I think I love that. I just love the fact that I'm able to still be myself and just be true to who I am. Just be myself with people. Just be me. It's priceless for me, just being able to just be who I truly am. What do I want my daughters to know about me? I tell them all the time, Mom is not rich, Mom is just hardworking. I need them to understand that it's only through hard work you can get to the next level. I need them to know that this world sometimes doesn't give you what you planned for. You have to work through every phase of your life. And I want them to be truly happy, to know that I've got their back. And although they don't have a father, but I'm trying everything within my power to just be that person. And I want them to also know that this is me. Sometimes they go like, Mom, seriously, I embarrass them sometimes. We are a pretty small family, but we're happy. And I try to be there for them as much as possible. But work-life balance is tough. So we try to integrate our lives and just have fun as much as we can. I love you, Zaron, Honor. Oh my goodness, they always say every interview I must make mentions of their name. I'm so sorry. So I love you, Honor and Zara. You're amazing, you're wonderful, not all the time, but I love you all the same. I want them to know that I'm a hardworking woman and nothing is, you can't take anything for granted. And I want them to always be proud of me and to trust that I can make the right choices. However, there are teenagers now, so they want to make their choices. I mean, they want to be their own person, but I just want them to know that, yes, I am there for them. Regardless of what the world says, I'm there for them. I'm a woman of faith, so I have absolutely no doubt that my strength is from God. I'm sure some people will say, oh, I'm a Christian too. Why am I not strong? Does that mean that God doesn't love me? He's giving everybody the same measure, but I've just tapped into it. So I know that He's giving me strength, so I tap into it every day. And I ask Him for more every day. Sometimes, like I said, it overwhelms you, but you just have to keep going. I'm a Christian in the marketplace, so that just goes to show that you can be a Christian and still run a successful business and a decent business. I own a cosmetic brand, so what we do really is just do business the right way that it should be done. However, some businesses are tougher than others when it comes to just when it comes to challenges like this. But for Zaron Cosmetics, we manage to do things the right way. We manage to be fair, because what we always ask ourselves is it fair for us to be treated this way? If it's not, then we can't treat the next man that way. And I think what we really are about as a brand is being able to impact lives. That's very key to who we are as a brand and who we are as people. That's the culture of what the business is about. So we try to impact lives, and you can't impact lives without being fair to people, without having the right judgment at all times. We're not perfect, but we try to always do the right thing at the right time. So my legacy is for every woman, especially the African woman, to know that they can make a difference and make an impact. I have 2 daughters. I want to be a role model to them. I want to be a role model for African women to believe in themselves and know that the world is global. The world is one, and we can make a difference.